The talk is about how to bring change to our life. Otherwise, it's pointless talking, especially in a place like a yoga center. The yoga practice has as a goal samadhi. Some one adhi place. One to be, to bring the consciousness to be in one place. It's the goal of yoga practice. With your mind, if you observe in yourself, you'll find to be in one place is completely boring. You don't want it. Not really. The mind is volatile. It visits many places within a minute. How can this entity be stabilized? Be made to be in one place. How? Let me clarify that I do not want to talk about dogmatic things. We are not talking about philosophy. Philosophy, you can keep discussing. The speaker has no interest in philosophy. The talks that we do here are an aid to help us to see something about our life that needs changing. Otherwise, it's a waste of time and energy. Because one philosophy and the other philosophy is also plausible, and a third one too. To catch anyone's attention, it has to be plausible. It has to make sense. And sense is different kind of sense. Like I said, most people would find being in one place a prison, putting the mind in a prison. It's not desirable. Well, let's say you tell a child to be in one place impossible. But the child has their own philosophy. We all do. Depending on how we are brought up, we develop a different kind of thinking which is suitable for us, for our existence, for our ego to exist. So when there is a philosophy that is in tune with my upbringing, my conditioning, my wishes, my desires, all the things that I don't want, then I stick to that philosophy. So we are not interested in philosophy. We are interested in hearing truths. In that way, the talks are what we call in Hindi and Sanskrit satsang. Satsang, the company of truths, the words of truths. Ask yourself, which of the two you've come for. And there's a really, really important thing. Listen without judgment. That's the way to listen. The qualities of grounding. Grounding is the quality of earth quality. When you enter a Hindu person's house, in front there is a statue of Ganesh, like here also, at the entrance of the hall. The qualities of Ganesh, when you pray to Ganesh, when you honor Ganesh, are that obstacles, all kinds of obstacles are taken away. And as you have seen, it's the elephant god. The elephant representing the greatest, the biggest mammal that we've got, sitting on a square. Square is a symbolic sign for earth quality. Being devoted to earthing or grounding, all obstacles are taken away. I'm only using Ganesh as an example, and we are going to presently come to all kinds of grounding. This is on the level of, shall we say, belief, which is not necessarily the truth. A belief can never be the truth. Our system of belief is dependent on my upbringing. That's not the truth. The qualities we were saying of grounding are stability, strength, rooting, All the masters, it doesn't matter which one, they tell you one straight, simple thing. Do something every day. No one will tell you, do this from time to time, every 3 days, every 2 days, and it's going to work. No, do it regularly, every day. In fact, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, just let me explain Patanjali. Patanjali was a sage, a wise person in the times of the Buddha. In the same way as the Buddha made all the unreasonable and untruthful things that existed in those times to be destroyed, so also Patanjali put down the essence of spiritual practice. And being contemporaries, you can say they both are in the same line. The amazing thing is, he didn't write a big volume. He wrote 196 sentences. That is it. That's a miracle. To write what it is, how to do it, what happens when you do it, and what is the final goal. 4 chapters. Everything's in there. Patanjali says, unless the yoga he's talking about is practiced every day over a long duration of time, it's not going to work. That is his recommendation to make things work. Dirghakal, for a long time. I'm reminded of Nisargadatta Maharaj, the one who's written the book I Am That. He said, when people asked him, how did you become enlightened? He said, for 20 years, I did exactly what my teacher told me. And this happened. Till you follow something up, you don't get any results. Simple things too. You want to be a musician, you want to be an artist, you don't just become a master. You practice, you practice, you practice, you practice, then you become a master where you find truth in whatever you are doing. Just before this talk, I was chatting with one student. Mind cannot stay in one place. Mind sees something, oh, I must learn this also. Oh, I must learn this also. Oh, I must learn this. Oh, excellent opportunity. Therefore, one thing lost. One thing. Goenka ji used to say, you all know Goenka, the Vipassana teacher. Very simple thing. He says, you want to find water. You dig, you dig, you dig, you dig, till you hit the water. If you make small holes here, there, everywhere, you're not going to find water. You decide where you want to dig it, and you keep digging till you get the water. In essence, that's what we want to talk about. The quality of earth is stability in yourself. But all the time, I notice the wandering nature. I want several options. If I don't have the options, I feel life is not giving me what I want. Every day, ideally, I want a change of food. One day I want Italian, another day something else, and something else, and something else. Partners. Oh, this partner, okay, now I'm tired. Now go. Now find another partner. And so on. And no understanding that this is because of my dissatisfaction in myself. Not being able to be satisfied is a big problem. After all, that is what the mind is. How is the mind manifested? Through fear. Fear of not getting what we want. Fear of not being the best. Fear of not knowing. Fear of non-fulfillment. Some people fear of not getting food tomorrow. Most of us not being able to pay the rents and the bills. Fear. Fear about not being the best. I want to be the best. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali are the Bible for not just yoga students, but for any spiritual path. So I'll make another reference. Avidya smita raga dvesha. That is what fear, abhinivesha, triggers. Very, very clear. So let me go up in order. The things I hate, I don't want them. I try to push them away to my maximum ability. The things I don't like. All the things that I like, I run after them with a lot of power. I put all my powers into my self-fulfillment. And my likes and my dislikes create an image, or I have created an image in myself about myself, and an image for others of who I am, who I want to be. All the media is nothing else but that image. What have you? Facebook and etc., etc. Facebook. You put your face on it, and then you write something about yourself. All the fear which is connected with all my wishes and the things I don't like is all created an entity I have created. Thus, living in this entity, there's a failure to understand truth, to understand what is life for. Is life the enhancement of my image? Making it better and better so I feel good, and as soon as someone points a finger and says, hey, shit, I go down, down, down. Another person tells me, oh my God, I am really, 2 people have told me, and I keep going down. I created an image for people. Now people are saying, hey, no, it's not working. There's a fear about that. Understanding all this, and understanding therefore that the path of life is actually to do away with all this, to live without this. How do you do it? Okay, as a concept I have understood. Now it's still philosophy. Some other people will say the exact opposite. They will say, if you don't have a big image about yourself, you will never get anywhere. Indeed, we see ourselves get into trouble again and again and again and again and again. But we don't see that I'm doing something which is impossible. Again, I don't use Facebook, but I know how it works. You know, getting a thumbs up and then you get thumbs down. Oh, you feel miserable when you get a lot of thumbs down. You try to justify it. Am I right? All even the non-understanding of what life is, it's all coming, arising because of insecurity about myself, fears. I realize I'm going the wrong way. It's not, I have tried, it's not making me feel happy. And it's going on for a while. The realization of the situation makes me want to do something different, to learn something different, to cast aside what makes me unhappy and do things which make me feel good. But first, a realization must come that indeed I'm suffering. Otherwise, we just go on and on and on and on and on. And we try this, we try this, we try this, till our life is spent, till we've not got the vitality and power to maintain a practice, to do a practice with intensity. Intensity. The other day, I remembered I was talking about 3 kinds of students mentioned by Patanjali. What is he talking about? The intensity. He categorizes slow to medium to intense. It's the ones that are intense that get there. If you are, oh yeah, a little bit here, it doesn't work. And intensity is needed, and that intensity is gone after a while. That's why, in order for us to stay empowered in ourselves, empowered, the yoga practice was devised. Shall I repeat that? Only a student that's intense gets to the goal. What is the goal? Sam Adhi. I remember once asking my teacher, Ramana Maharshi's disciple, Papaji. I said, Papaji, I cannot be silent. You're saying be silent. I cannot be silent. That's true for all of us. We just cannot be. This was his reply. He smiled. He always makes you feel welcome with your question. He said, be like Arjuna and don't give up. Arjuna was an archer, very famous archer in what you can say our mythology or the stories of the past. Persist. Don't give up. What kind of quality is that? Grounding. Don't give up. Be stable, not wavering. Stable in your pursuit. Don't give up. Indeed. There are tricks in the yoga path. There are tricks where one can remain grounded, where one can arrive at a stage where one isn't moving about all the time. That is the whole path of yoga practice. How to refrain from getting lost. And not knowing what is important in life. We do it with a very simple method. We concentrate on the place that is I'm touching the ground with. It's called earth. Then I make contact with the earth. My contact with the earth, I concentrate on. And I know whether it's working or not. But my awareness, all of it, in that contact. Now, the speaker is sitting on the buttocks. It's as if this awareness is constant. The moment there is a loss of this contact with the earth, what comes out of here is not very grounded. There's a relationship between my sitting and what emits out of me in terms of thought, word, and deed. In order to rein in the mind which is volatile, which is going to take me off my grounding, to curb it, to disempower it, to take away its force. Patanjali mentioned something really important. How do you do that? How do you take away the power? By yama, which is, it's an eightfold path. Yama is ethical discipline. I'm sorry to inform you that this is also the foundation of most of the religions. In Christianity, it's the Ten Commandments. All of them have some ethical principles to follow. So when you break them, when you want to go around them, the mind becomes even more volatile, because you enter the domain of fear. We could, like this, we could go into all that, but that's not really what I want to do, except mention what are these 5 things, what are the yamas, what are yamas, the 5 things, what ethical principles, non-violence, being truthful to oneself, not stealing, not hoarding, because then you have to look after it, you're worried. And being one-pointed in following your path to enlightenment, because that is the only way for being happy. These are the 5 things that the ethical principles that one has to know about. And as soon as one goes out of line, I become agitated. How do I follow ahimsa, satya? How do I follow the yamas? How will this understanding come? That comes from grounding. When I ground myself, remember the story I told you about Ganesha. When I ground myself, I become straight. Whenever I go out of line, doesn't matter. We are talking physically, mentally, energetically, emotionally, at all levels, out of line. Whenever I go out of line, I am not concentrated. I lose everything. I'm all over the place. It's really simple for everyone to try. When I am straight. Now, this is the most amazing thing that came, I should say, as a gift that came about 20 odd years back, a bit more. The fact that rooting is what makes a magnificent tree. The rooting, the power of rooting makes us grow, and it makes us grow straight. Then moral principles, everything is understood. I do a very simple thing. Very simple thing. I am in my body. I'm in my body. I cannot go wrong. With everything else, I can go wrong. With my body, I can easily fine-tune and find balance. And then the balance works.